All right, we got a view of Timmy out there shirtless, which is nice.
Road manager Timmy. I know lots of ladies are jealous right now.
The Tim dog. Well, good. Hello.
Hello.
You look nice as always.
Thank
but
you.
no dress today.
Check my fat. Yeah.
No, I'm so proud of you, dude. You've been kicking ass on that Peloton.
Yeah, but it's not showing on the scale. That's what's so depressing. But I do feel stronger. I keep telling myself, I'm like, no, but I know I'm stronger. It's just not showing on the scale.
I told you guys, if you go back in the podcast, she's never
what?
going to Croatia.
Oh, that's so sad.
Are we going to talk about what we laughed about last night? I didn't know if you wanted to or not.
Is that what we're going to start with? We can start with that.
No, we don't have to. I wasn't going to bring it up because.
Actually, I think it is a valid topic of conversation. I actually think I'm gonna put it in my Instagram stories and see what people say.
Okay, well, I mean, we can talk about it here.
Like, take a poll. You have to take a poll in the comments too?
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day.
It sounds like we're having a very serious discussion. It's not serious at all.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, the comments are always in your favor. They were in your favor again. Oh, I just love Renae, and she's amazing, and Steve, you're a piece of shit.
No, I think that last episode, people just sympathized with an introvert. I'm an introvert and you're an extrovert, and you like wanted to be mean about it instead of.
I was not being mean about it.
You definitely had a negative.
I did not.
Negative tone.
I did not.
Just because you're not like that doesn't mean it's wrong.
But I'm happy no matter what. That's the difference. I'm gonna go with the flow.
You're gonna double down.
No, I'm just saying that I am.
Down.
No, I'm just saying that me personally, extrovert, introvert, like whatever's happening.
Whatever's happening.
I'm happy. So I will ask this question to Lori first because and maybe it's a guy thing.
I was going to say, don't ask it to Rick. Ask it to Lori first.
But then I want to know what Rick has to say about it.
Sure. Okay.
Lori, are you okay?
You're going to phrase it differently.
No.
I feel like I should ask
Are
Lori.
you okay if for your birthday, Renae bought you underwear?
What if I went to Victoria's Secrets and stocked you up with like 10 really cute panties?
Yeah.
That's not weird?
No.
Thank you.
For girls, no. But like if you bought a guy friend underwear,
That's different. No, we're going to.
It's weird.
We're going to a birthday dinner
Okay,
tonight,
hold on.
and we can talk about it
let Rick
because it's
talk.
a surprise party. But this episode won't. air
As
till
Rick's at
Friday.
the airport in front of other people, are buying is that not weird?
I'm literally having to leave the bathroom because I can't talk about that in the bathroom. Wait, let me get the situation right. You bought Renae underwear?
No.
Yeah.
Renae.
Rick's voice is you're kind of quiet, Rick. You need to speak up.
Renae would like to buy a girlfriend underwear for a birthday gift. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
No, it's
But
not.
it's
It's
weird
not.
because
No,
we
listen.
would never do it.
Someone bought me underwear once for my birthday. It was like I did not expect a gift. They showed up with a gift, and it was a bag of Victoria's Secret's underwear. And I thought it was a really great gift idea. And I was like, oh my gosh, why did I never think to buy my girlfriend cute underwear? Women don't go shopping for them. Look, you keep your underwear forever.
I
right?
have to because by the time I stretch out the crotch and make room down there with my underwear, it takes a long time to stretch it out, you know? So
Okay.
But no, women don't take the time to like stop and buy themselves underwear. And
I think
we'll
it's
just
weird.
keep
I think it's weird.
But if a friend bought it for me, I'm like, great, you took that off my plate. I love these. They're super cute. And I have new underwear. And then I throw out some scuzzy ones because I've got more to put in the drawer.
I don't know. I think it's weird, and I think that we need to leave it right there for the people to chime in.
Well, no,
And
I didn't think it was weird until the friend that bought them for me that one time, you pointed out that maybe they were swingers and that's why they bought them.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, okay. So maybe
Yes.
it's a little weird.
It is weird.
But like, no, okay. It's like when you're getting married, women throw like a bridal shower, and sometimes the bridal shower is a lingerie shower, right? And women buy lingerie for their girlfriend before they get married.
Yeah,
and it's like,
what do they
it's
call
really
that?
nice.
A boudoir party?
Well, that's the pictures when you take like the
Oh.
naked pictures for your significant other. But women have lingerie parties. I know men don't have lingerie
I don't know.
parties, so
Look,
that's weird. But
I'd be like, if Gabe bought me underwear, he'd be like, dude, I got you this great gift. Check it out. And I open it up, and I'm like, did you buy me fucking underwear?
He's
Like,
buying you underwear for your next
it's
So last night,
it's weird, dude.
when Steve asked me what I was going to buy her, and I told her, I'm going to get her a gift card to Ulta, and I'm going to get her some really cute panties from Victoria's Secrets. And he was like, that's so weird. He's like, you have to call Jen and Carlos and ask them, like, if that's weird.
And then
so then everyone started laughing about my gift idea. So I was like, well,
she's not getting cute.
Well, no,
underwear
you
now.
could tell Jen was like, okay, like she,
kind of on the fence about it.
yeah, she wasn't like, fuck yeah, like that's a great gift. She was like, yeah, sure. Why not?
I text Jen and I said, if anyone wants to buy me Victoria's Secrets underwear for my birthday, I'm a size medium.
Well, but let me ask you this: why not just get her a gift card from Victoria's Secret?
Well, because a gift
Then
card.
then she can pick out the underwear that she wants. Not all women like the underwear that you like. Maybe she doesn't like thongs. Or
I
maybe
mean,
she
there's
doesn't.
not that many options.
I mean, maybe she wants crotchless. Maybe she wants one with a zipper. Like, you know,
Now that's weird. That makes it weird.
the zipper would be really weird because then you get the taco meat stuck in there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my
The
gosh.
roast
oh my
beef.
Gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. And that's why she's not getting underwear. Because
I'm just saying,
stuff like that.
why not a gift card? To me, a gift card would go, here's a Victoria's Secret gift card because
now I still-
because Victoria's Secret, then she can get her size. She can choose
As
not to get it. Maybe she wants bras.
As a busy
maybe she wants
woman-
lotion. Maybe she wants.
As a busy woman, now I still have to go into the store and pick out my underwear. Whereas if you just pick it out, it's done. You thought about
I
it,
don't
and
know.
you put a gift receipt in the bag. And if it's the wrong size, they can exchange it. But
I-
you always buy smaller.
I think, but then she still has to go in if they're too small.
Well, no,
So-
I would buy what I think is really
So
her
why not a-
size. I'm
why
just
not-
saying, if you were on the fence about size, always go
You're
smaller.
so aggressive today. I'm just saying, why not a gift card?
Maybe it's because my underwear are really uncomfortable right now and I need some new ones. Maybe that's why I'm aggressive.
Well, if you took them off more, I would know. No, but why not a gift card? Honestly, to continue the conversation, my question is, why not a gift card as opposed to here are some underwear?
Because a
from
gift card feels like you didn't put as much effort and it's not as personal.
But no, but I think it to me it solves the same and no, it's very not as personal. I think it solves the same issue of, hey, I'm being thoughtful as another mom and busy woman.
I don't know.
that-
I think everyone's being weird about it. I think it's totally fine.
If they're a good girlfriend and you guys have a good relationship, I think it's totally perfectly fine to buy them underwear. Just like there's lingerie parties. When
I
we
don't
got
know.
married, someone
It's
bought
weird.
me lingerie and I really appreciated it because you're spending money on other things. Like you just don't even think about it.
All I'm saying is that I think a gift card is the way to go. I understand what you're saying. I just think that, hey, here's some panties. It's just weird.
No, you know what it is? I think it's because we're going to dinner as couples. And so it's weird because there's men there. But I think that like if it was just girlfriends and we were having brunch or something, it wouldn't be as weird.
I can kind of see that. I can kind of okay.
Because you'll make inappropriate jokes when I give them to her.
No. I just think I'll be looking at her face when she looks in the bag to see her go, what the fuck? Thank you.
Now we're going to have to ask her tonight what she would have thought.
I want to ask. Yeah, I am interested to see what. And it's weird because Lori, she's a lady, and Lori immediately was like, "Fuck yeah, give me some thongs, right? Furry ones."
I don't think that was how she said it.
I don't know. To me, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
A little weird. I think Rick would agree with me. Carlos definitely agreed with me. Carlos immediately was like, "Yeah, dude, that's weird as shit." Like it's not even like my response to it is not. It's kind of weird. No, my response is like, "That's weird," and that was Carlos' response. That's weird, and then Rick's response was, "That's weird."
I
I don't know. When someone gave them to me, I thought it was a really great gift. And I have since then, I know I've given underwear to at least one or two other close girlfriends. And I think they really appreciated it. But they were very close girlfriends.
I was going to say, I think it depends on the relationship between the girls.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of my best friends, or like it's Renae who knows me. Yeah, but just an acquaintance, maybe not.
Some AC/DC panties for Lori. She's wearing a Poison shirt today. Anyway, so we don't have to harp on the panty gift giving. We should probably move on. But
Yeah.
I thought it was really.
Comment below with a panty emoji.
I am truly interested to see what people think, but I also think that, Renae does no wrong. So no matter what, we get the Renae's always right and leave her alone, and you should have let her give panties. I can already guess what the comments are going to be. Why are you treating Steve? Steve, leave her alone. Let her get panties for her friend. Like, I can already see it all. So, and by the way, our next door neighbor, look at her cleaning the truck. I have never seen that scene at my house. Anyway, we had it was a little bit of a long weekend for me.
Why did it feel long this weekend?
It didn't feel too long, but it was a little long because I was gone Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
We did Buffalo, New York. The weather was beautiful.
While we are like having extreme heat warnings down here, you were getting to cool off. I was a little jealous of that.
I have never sold out Buffalo. And I love that town. I love the people. As a matter of fact, we ended up with a lot of people from Toronto, Canada, and the Canada area.
They came from Canada to Buffalo?
Well, it's really not that far.
How far is it?
It's like 3 hours.
So decent,
Right?
but
it's,
not.
Look, I'm so appreciative that people care
Made that kind of
enough
effort.
about me to make that kind of effort. But we didn't sell out. But I do absolutely love the club, and the management's great, and it's just a great room and a great club, and they're the General Mills factories right there, so it smells like Cheerios and Lucky Charms outside. And then across the parking lot is a casino. So,
I was going to ask if there was a casino in Buffalo.
I like the entire atmosphere.
The experience of Buffalo?
And we did go eat wings. But I was just a little...
Buffalo wings. I just connected the dots. I was like slow to the party.
Yeah. And I don't want to give up on the market because so many people that come to the show are so appreciative and so sweet. And, they come up to me and they say, oh my gosh, we listened to the podcast, the whole thing. And I don't want to give up on the market, but it is a little, but again, this summer in particular, we are doing secondary markets, and it has been a little harder to sell tickets this summer, but I don't know. I mean, we have been doing a lot of the Midwest, and we've been doing a lot of the Northeast, right? So, when you go to a place like Buffalo, they literally get maybe a month of summer.
I was going to say, people want to be outside, like doing summer activities.
And
right?
there
Not
was
sitting in
several
a dark comedy
concerts.
club.
There were several concerts in town. There were several.
You want to be at summer in the park. And
they were doing fairs
festivals.
and festivals. And, so I was competing with a lot. And I'm not saying I'm going to give up on Buffalo because I'm stubborn as all hell. And I will continue to go and visit those people because I feel obligated to them, But we had a very, very special guest come with me that nobody, I don't think, has ever done before. Staff Sergeant Shiloh Harris. He has a book out called Steel Will. Okay, because he got blown up, and he is
How do we not have a copy of the book? I want to read the book.
I want to read the book too, because he's a very, very inspirational human being. I mean, there's some people who exude positivity, exude confidence, exude. They're smiling, and
it's so freaking contagious. You want to be around it.
Well, it not only is it contagious, it also makes you look at him and go, man, what am I complaining about? Right? Because he's not complaining. He's having a great time, and he's he's really happy to be here. And
perspective slapping you in the face with Shiloh.
So we met him, several weeks ago doing the Purple Heart Foundation with Bill Goldberg and Compadres Restaurant out of Bernie. And I mean, Renae and I watched him tell his story, and we were laughing.
Yeah.
We were inspired.
I think we talked about it briefly on the podcast.
Yeah.
He was super dynamic.
It was very dynamic. So I invited him to come be my opening act at a comedy club, right?
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would come out first and I would say, hey guys, normally there's an opening act and today is no different.
Well, and because people
right?
don't know Shiloh, I feel like we have to share. Shiloh's wounds are very visible and obvious.
No, he's definitely a very clear burn survivor. See, he taught me.
Uh-huh.
He goes, I am not a burn victim. He goes, I am a burn survivor. He goes, because I refuse to use the word victim.
Not burn, like explosion.
I refuse to be a victim. He goes, so I am a burn survivor, right?
Yeah.
And I really like that. Again, him mentally, overcoming things and mentally putting things together is just such to me, an admirable situation. Now he's missing a finger or two. He's missing his ears. And they had to reconstruct his nose. But he, from far or even close, there are some burn survivors that are very, very hard to look at, if I'm being honest. It's very uncomfortable. It's very...
He makes you comfortable, though, because he's just so warm and personable.
Happy and
even with the ears, he makes fun of it. He makes you immediately comfortable.
He makes you immediately comfortable. And by the way, while it's on my mind, so we fly home together from Buffalo, New York. We're connecting in Chicago, okay? And I was so disappointed. So Shiloh tends to overheat because the skin grafts on his body do not allow oxygen.
I was going to say, is it a perspiration thing or he doesn't?
It's oxygen, it's perspiration. The way he explained it is that he is 10 degrees warmer than everybody else. Right, so it's this kind of heat. Him being outside, he gets lightheaded, he gets dizzy, he gets disoriented,
like a heat stroke feeling, or kind of
very similar to a heat stroke. And as a matter of fact, one of the shows, the AC wasn't working quite as good as it should have been, and he went on stage, and I could tell that he was struggling and trying to talk, and finally he just said, guys, can you give me a moment? I'm overheating.
Yeah.
And he got some water. He sat down. Timmy and I rushed over there with a cold towel, to cool him off, because you could visibly see that he was having trouble, right?
Yeah.
So we fly to Chicago to connect, and he's not feeling good, right? He's it's early in the morning. He hasn't slept much. We didn't sleep at all, really. Saturday
Why?
night.
Because you were at the casino?
No, because our flight was at 3:30 in the morning. We had our car was picking us up at 3:30 to be at the airport. We were off stage and done by 12:30, 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So by the time, anyway, while you're attacking me, we didn't get to sleep. So not only did he not get to sleep, and they're picking us up early, and then we ended up on a flight, which the pressure and being in a airplane can change the way that you feel, right?
Yeah.
The altitude. And then we get to Chicago, and he goes over he's not feeling well, and he goes over to the gate lady. And I told him, I go, because I am group 1, you can board with me. Mm-hmm. And he was like, man, he's like, I just need to do the pre-boarding. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't feel well. I just need to sit down. I need to cool off. So he goes over to the gate lady, and he's like, very nicely goes, excuse me, miss, can I pre-board with pre-board? Mm-hmm. And she goes, why? Like that. She was like, why? And then Shiloh's looking at her with 0 ears, a rebuilt nose. And he goes, well, he goes, I thought it'd be a little obvious, right? And she goes, obvious for what? And he goes, well, I'm a burn survivor. I'm not feeling well. If it's okay with you, I'm listening to him talk to her. Mm-hmm. He goes, I'd really like to pre-board so I could sit down. I'm really not feeling well. And she literally goes, whatever. And I'm just like, fuck you, dude. This guy has a Purple Heart. This guy got blown up, and he is out there advocating for our military, and you're going to treat them like shit,
Yeah.
right? So American Airlines, shame on you, to have somebody like that who lacks zero sympathy towards somebody. I was hurt for him.
Yeah.
Because it's already uncomfortable for him to have to ask. And then for her to be like, why? Like, what do you mean fucking why? The guy doesn't have ears. They rebuilt his nose. Like, you don't have fucking eyes? So I was very disappointed in American Airlines and that particular person in Chicago. An American, if you want to send me, I'll tell you what flight. But I was bummed, but
Missing a sensitivity chip.
but oh my gosh, was it great. And so Shiloh took 15 books with him Thursday. Sold out in probably 10 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, people are like, you have a book? And he's like, I'm sold out. I mean, he could have sold 100 books that weekend.
Wow.
And I'm kind of sitting in the back, watching him do his thing, and I'm giving him notes and, trying to help him kind of navigate it in a way that is more comedy club friendly,
Right, conducive to a comedy
little
club.
funnier,
Yeah.
right? Opening funny jokes, right? That kind of thing.
Because he's more a motivational speaker.
More motivational speaker, great sense of humor, but man, it was beautiful. He got a standing ovation after one of his sets. And then when I introduced him as Staff Sergeant Purple Heart recipient Shiloh Harris, the audience gave him a standing ovation as he walked out there.
Wow, that just gave me chills.
I thought it was just beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And it was just really special and really cool to have somebody like that on my show.
Yeah.
Right? To give the audience something, to me, really special. People would come up to him afterwards and take pictures with him and thank him for his service.
You talk about that woman from American Airlines who just had no clue that, you hope you're opening people's eyes to what that experience is like, and what the cost of our freedom really, there is a cost for that and what that is in real.
Well, not only is there a cost, war is an ugly thing, and it was, I don't know where it came from, but yesterday, my 7-year-old who's almost 8, God, what were we doing? Oh, he was asking me if I had ever gone to perform for the troops overseas. And I said, yeah. I said, I used to do it all the time before COVID. And before you were born, I said I would go all the time. And he goes, well, why don't you do it anymore? And I said, well, COVID hit. And I go, and it's dangerous, and I'm away from home for 10 days. And he goes, well, why is it dangerous? And I said, well, son, it's dangerous because I'm going to a war zone. And he goes, we're at war? And I go, sometimes, yeah, buddy, we're at war. I go, that's what USO tours are. I go, and do those. And he goes, Dad, why are people at war? And you just sit there and you go, fuck, man, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's tough. And that's the point, is that we don't know. And there's bad people in the world that hate us. And there's bad people in the world that are suppressing human beings and just terrible humans. And we have to go do these. The government asks our soldiers and military to go do that, and they do it without question. Those are heroes, and I have so much respect for all those military men and women that when the duty calls, they do it.
Yeah.
Right? And they do what they have to do. And I love when I get, people from overseas that go, God bless the American troop, because, we have been in conflicts before where we have gone to help people. Right?
Yeah.
So, that is another reason I respect our military so much. And that's why I thought that this weekend with Shiloh was just really beautiful, and motivational, for somebody like that to, and then get this. So one of his buddies that they met in Germany, who is now his best friend, and deployed together, and were in the same platoon together, or forgive me for not knowing the lingo, but they were together.
They served together.
They served together. he lives in Erie, PA, and him and his wife came to see him, And then what's really crazy is, our friend Dan, the mortgage broker, Pittsburgh Dan, he's talking to his wife, and we're all having drinks after, and he says,
He's talking to the friend's wife.
Yes. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm born and raised Erie. And Dan's like, oh, I went to college there at Edinburgh. And, do you know so-and-so? Oh, my God, I know so-and-so. He was my coach. And then all of a sudden Dan was like, oh, well, I'm very good friends with this person too. And then his wife was like, I was at their wedding. And then Dan goes, I was at their wedding.
Oh, wow.
So here are these two random people that Shiloh put together that had never met, but were at the same wedding. Like, it was just crazy and cool, And I mean, Shiloh just did such a really good job. And I hope to bring Shiloh out on the road again.
Yeah.
Because it really was, to me, something neat.
Yeah.
Something special.
I would love to see it. How was it following him? Like the vibe in the audience as far as being ready for comedy? And
it was easy, right? Because they love him. They love him, and he does have this inspirational message of when you're feeling down, get up and keep going.
Yeah.
When you think you can't go anymore,
power through.
He goes, you can. You're stronger than you think.
Steel will. Yeah.
Steel will.
Yeah,
and I wish he would have brought $100 because he would have sold $100, because he was great. But it really turned out to be a wonderful weekend. And I was bummed out because I'm trying to watch Garrett's game on Game Changer, but dude, Carlos said that it was like 120 out there.
Well, no, I thought that if it was 105, they called it. And I don't know if it's because we're in the playoffs or whatever, or if people were just like, we're going to power through. But I'm pretty sure it was 105, and those boys still played football. And like, what's worse is the time of day that it's happening 5. There's like no shade at this field, and everyone has their canopies up, but no one is under them because that's not where the shade is. You're like 3, 4, 5, 6 feet outside of your canopy because that's where the little spot of shade is. So they have a canopy set up for the boys, but all the boys are smushed together in like this little square of the shade. Oh.
And look, when I was playing football, a million years ago, everybody had this attitude of suck it up, toughen up, get over it, be a man. And to me, where I've gotten in my life now, where it's like, there's a line between tough and dumb.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To me, it's like, hey man, these are kids. They don't need to be out in 105 with no shade on turf that now the turf is making it 120. To me, it's like, guys, is a 7U football game worth one of our kids getting a heat stroke, right? And look,
as a mom, I'm like, oh my God, even if he's hydrating and I've got the cool towel and we got the ice, I gave him an ice pack just to like cool him down. Even if you're doing all those things during the game, I was like, did he drink enough water today? Like, did I pump him with fluids enough to like make it through this game?
But so Carlos was running the Game Changer, and then it kept
going out because
his phone would overheat.
Yeah.
So he couldn't even keep Game Changer going because his phone would overheat so fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The siblings were like, can we watch your phone? And I was like, no, you're going to drain the battery and my phone's going to overheat. Yeah.
So it was a bummer for me because Friday I really didn't get to see
the game.
The game, right?
Yeah.
And then I got to talk about Mr. George.
Who's George?
Oh, Mr. George.
Do I know Mr. George?
Mr. George. You don't know Mr. George.
I don't know Mr. George.
Okay, Mr. George.
Was Mr. George your friend at the craps table?
He was my friend at the craps table. Dude, this guy, and I mean that old school, I just love those guys. I love old school, man.
Can I ask what ethnicity is Mr. George?
Mr. George was a black man.
Okay.
And so classy and dressed to the nines. He had a suit on, and everybody knew him. All the dealers were like, "Hey,
he came to play."
Oh, he came to play, George, right? So I look at Mr. George across and I go, "Mr. George, let's make some money. Come over here. And he's like, hell yeah, right? So he came over, and before you knew it, Mr. George, several other men saw me and Mr. George having a good time, and then they were like, oh, I'm going over there with
It's
Mr. George.
contagious. You want to join the party.
I mean, Mr. George got there with $100. I did very well this weekend, by the way, on craps. But Mr. George showed up with $100. We are killing it. And there's just something about that old school, clean shaven, right? He's wearing a suit. He looks nice. Something
about a good-looking gambler.
Dude, well, no, but it's that old school. Like I miss the old school, man. These men that dress like men. I mean, when I look around the craps table, I'm dressed like a man. But then you look around the craps table.
In your muscle shirt?
Well, no, but now at night I'm wearing my shirt, right? I'm wearing jeans. I'm wearing boots. Do I have a suit on? No. But I'm dressed like a man. It's crazy how many people my age I see at the craps table, with their hat to the side and the baggy clothes.
Are you telling me you never showed up at the craps table in flip-flops?
During the day, yes.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, my point is that there's something awesome about that old school man's man, right?
Yeah.
Well put together, very classy. He was very respectful and nice and easygoing. And so there you had to pay for your drinks unless you were like a Sapphire member. Right? And Mr. George was a Sapphire member.
Oh, so was he ordering your drinks?
He was
for
ordering
you?
he's like, nah, whatever you want, Steve. I got it, man. I get it for you. No, that's all mine. That's all. So he was like taking care of me. And I love hanging out with the old school.
Yeah.
I just do. It makes me excited. I enjoy it. I mean, I just love the guy. And I really had a great time with Mr. George. And then the next night we went back, and the whole table was like, Mr. George was looking for you. Mr. George had to go home. He kept asking if you were here. He kept asking if you were here. And I was like, shit, I came from Mr. George. There's no Mr. George.
I missed each other. Passing gamblers in the night.
But dude, he was awesome. So big shout out to Mr. George. I don't think he watches podcasts, but maybe his grandchildren do, because his grandchildren are probably my age. I mean, this guy had to be in
Was he that old?
He had to be in his 90s. I mean,
life.
black don't crack, but I mean, he had to have been in his 90s. But
Wow.
I just enjoyed his company, and I enjoy that. I enjoy hanging out with the old school.
Yeah.
I just do, and anytime I have the opportunity to hang out with the old school, I want to be with the old school. And I like their ways, and I like the kind of men that they are. And I think there's a whole generation of people that go, oh, these old heads, they don't get it. I think they get it more than we get it.
Yeah.
But I forgot to tell you about that. I thought, how was the weekend with the kids?
It was good. We actually went and saw.
That's where I was going with the Friday, because first it was Friday football.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, you guys hung out.
Friday was football, and then Saturday we ended up going because it was so hot, and I was like, what am I going to do with the kids? It's so hot. We don't even want to be in the swimming pool.
Yeah, it's just hot.
It's reached that point. The swimming pool water feels like a bathtub. But there was a play, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah, you
and
guys
Delilah hasn't seen Beauty and the Beast, and Garrett did a theater camp this
I mean,
summer.
it's basically a documentary of me and you. She'll never love me. She'll never love me.
But I took them to see that because I was like, we went to the matinee show. I was like, let's at least get out of the heat, but out of the house and go do something. And it was a great way to spend a couple of hours. They loved it. Delilah, I mean, it was long. And Delilah, who never sits still, that lady's like a little banshee. She sat through the whole first act, watching, super entertained. And then after intermission, she didn't stay in her chair, but she was like, I put us in the back. And so our row was pretty empty. And she was like dancing down our row. And then she would kind of dance down the aisle and kind of sing along with them. It was really cute.
I think we are lucky because number one, and this is just a reminder for everybody, like number one, I am a live performer, right?
Yeah.
And we love going to theater shows because people just don't go anymore.
I think it's twofold.
And people forget, right? People immediately go, oh, what are we going to do today? Let's see if there's a movie.
Yeah.
Right? Instead, hey, let's see if there's a local production. Let's see if they're doing Beauty and the Beast. Let's see what's going on in
music,
town. Live music.
yeah.
Like, the
magicians,
theater. Right?
theater.
Yeah,
and any sort of performance.
I
art.
think we forget about that in this world that we live in now to go, well, I'll go watch a live show.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of going to the movies, which is great. We both
We
love going to
love
the
movies. We're big movie lovers.
Let's go to the theater, right? Let's go watch a live performance.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we did, and golly, I was floored over Christmas in Dallas, Texas. Is it Dallas or Fort Worth or
Where?
Irvine? The Christmas pageant that we went to.
Oh my gosh, that's a church. It was at Christmas time. I think they only do it for 2 weeks. Churches, they like bus in groups from other churches. It sells out.
Angels flying, literally like angels flying. Santa, camels, and
Santa
animals.
comes flying in on his sleigh. I mean, yeah, all the crazy live animals. It is I'm gonna forget it. It's Prestonwood is the name of the church.
It is insane.
Somewhere outside of Dallas.
Look up I'm telling you right now, one of the most extravagant shows
Oh yeah.
I have ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, their theater, their equipment, their production equipment.
Insane.
I will say it is better than some Broadway plays I have seen. The production value.
The production value is better than some Broadway. I mean, it is insane.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there going, what is happening right now? Human beings floating above you. Angels.
Yeah.
And Santa flying in on a sled. And then the three wise men coming in. And then the celebration with camels and sheep and ducks.
But the size of the stage and then the amount of people. Like there were probably, 300 people
participating in the play.
That show.
1,000%.
Probably 100 of those, 75 to 100 of those kids.
Yep. So Renae and a friend of ours told us about it, and they were going to do.
We would have never known about it.
Great Wolf Lodge, and then it's not too far from there.
The Gaylord.
The Gaylord, and it's not too far from there, and that was kind of our day activity. And the tickets are not cheap, but you have to get them. Way in advance.
You have to be on the email list. So as soon as they release the tickets, you were buying your tickets that day.
And I'm sitting there going, oh gosh, like you're going to make me go watch some church play. No, this thing, I mean, first of all, ridiculous, this church. Which, by the way, I don't even want to get into. I don't even want to get
that's a whole other can of worms.
Like, forget stand-up comedy. I need to get a church because those preachers make way more money than I could ever imagine making, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. Tax-free, too.
The theater and their equipment was quite impressive. Because there's giant screens. So, like, the cameras that they had and those giant screens that they had that they use in the production, crazy.
They probably spend $1.5 million on that play, if I were to guess.
You think so?
Oh, my gosh. Look, I know what those video screens cost. I know what cameras cost. I know what... I mean, if I took Rick over there, Rick would go, "Oh, there's $400,000 worth of equipment here."
Yeah,
we need to film my special there. They already have them.
They have everything we need.
It was unbelievable. Anyway, it was a great experience to take the kids to a play like that. It was awesome. But I'm just glad that you were able to take the kids to see that.
Yeah, we hadn't done that, and we ended up with like a free afternoon unexpectedly because I wanted to go visit my parents, but Delilah had a little bit of a cold, so I thought, no, we're going to play it safe. And I was like, let's take advantage of the fact that we have this free afternoon, and the show happens to be going on.
Were there a lot of people there or no?
Yeah. And they do several performances. Usually matinees are typically not sold out, and it was pretty stinking full. It wasn't sold out, but it was pretty stinking full, and it was not a small theater. It was a big theater.
I enjoy most of all is like we went to go see A Bronx Tale off Broadway. We went to go see with
the one with the plant. That's so funny. We both go like this at the same time. The plant that eats the people.
Little Shop of Horrors.
There we go.
I enjoy the play and I enjoy watching it, but what I enjoy the most is really observing how everything works.
The intricacies of everything.
Yes, how the sets come in, the sets come out. You know what I mean?
The live aspect of
The
it.
live aspect,
Yeah.
the cues that they're hitting,
The timing of the music.
timing, right?
Yeah. The music with the lights, with the dancers, like
Yes,
everything all at once.
It was. That's what I enjoy about a live show is like.
And then when seeing when something goes wrong, but they still keep going anyway.
And I really enjoyed when we did the Norwegian cruise, the play that those guys did.
That one was pretty phenomenal.
That
too.
was really, really cool.
What was it? They're British and it takes place in a pub. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it.
But
Because it was
it's-
I think not a Broadway, but
No,
it was like a West End show.
It's basically like piano bar sing along comes to life because they're singing
great.
they're singing and dancing all the hits and cheersing to the beers, and I mean it's really
I feel like I have to look it up now.
yeah,
What
it was really
called?
cool. Brews or Bros or
No.
something, but it was on the Norwegian Escape. Really, really great show, and the entire point of my conversation right now is, continue.
Choir of Man.
Choir of Man.
That's what it is.
But continue to support all live entertainment, right? Go support that band playing live. Go support that. And a lot of times, man, don't be afraid to tip, because if you got into a bar for free and you're enjoying the music that this person is playing, if you got into it for free, they're probably not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So maybe throwing them that extra $5. I'll give guys on the Vegas Strip money when they're amazing.
Yeah.
When you walk by and they're playing the buckets and you're like, dude, I'm being entertained. Here, I'll pay you for that, right? So I'm glad you guys got to do that.
Yeah.
And then I got home Sunday. And then this week we're very excited because we will travel for the last week of the summer together to go to St. Louis. Renee's very excited about all the kids stuff there.
I wasn't. You know what? I didn't know. And when we said we're taking the family to St. Louis, it was more out of like, we have work stuff going on and we wanted to do something with the kids. And it just happened to be that you were going to St. Louis. So we're going to St. Louis. But I had no idea how much fun stuff for kids is in St. Louis. I'm excited.
I'm excited about it because we're going to catch a baseball game, and I'm going to hang out with some potential donors for Helicopters for Heroes. And 8 Ball's going to be there, and Jake's going to be there, and I'll be with my family. So we're very excited about St. Louis. And I did St. Louis a million years ago.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I ran into a GP Wildcat there, and I am not allowed to say his name. But
You got him in trouble?
No. I had not seen him since high school. And he was one of those guys that I was very good friends with. He's a little older than me. We're very, very good friends.
Is he like in the witness protection program or something? Why are you not allowed to say his name?
Not in the witness protection program, but he is CIA. Oh. So he is not allowed to be on social media. Mm-hmm. So he is completely off the grid, doesn't exist. And seeing him was really cool. And what's even crazier is
Did you know he did that when you went to St. Louis?
I had no idea.
Oh.
I literally had not seen this guy since high school, and we were really good buddies in high school.
Uh-huh.
We had a lot of the same classes. We would laugh. We used to have thumb war tournaments and football tournaments, and I mean, we were just really good friends.
Thumb war
Oh yeah, we would have to go like anyway. We did dumb shit. We were in the dummy classes. Okay, the dummy classes they let
He's in the CIA.
But it was one of he came to my show and I was like, holy shit! Like, it was just really cool to see him, and I was like, buddy, you fell off the face of the earth, and he was like, well, that's the plan. He's like, that was the goal. So we're super excited to go to St. Louis together as a family, and we love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us. We got to give a big shout out to Old Salt Coffee. Old Salt Coffee has been so wonderful to us, and we love the coffee. Trevino 10 is the code.
If y'all are wondering, like, is the coffee really that good, or do the Trevinos just say that? I feel like we have to say, no, the coffee is really that good.
It's like, look, your kid is beautiful when they say it twice. Right? If they go, oh, your daughter's beautiful, and then they don't say it again, your kid's probably
Well,
not
no,
that
I feel like it's really good if Captain Evil actually says it's good, because she's a
bitch.
snobby, opinionated.
And then, of
I'm
course,
discerning.
Aztec Chevrolet. We love them. Give them a chance, guys. Look at their inventory in Uvalde, Goliad, and Beeville, Texas.
Yes.
They will make it work for you. They will find a way to make it convenient for you. They want to sell cars. Don't think just because you're not close by that they won't make it work. Those guys are amazing, and girls. So Mom took them. Mom on the way here always drops them off.
I saw that. She posted a picture with all the Aztec Chevy crew.
She's so sweet,
That's
Mom.
sweet.
She always shows up and drops off Mexican bakery goods, and they love it. So big shout out to those guys. So with that being said, guys, we love you all very, very much. We will see you soon.